Hi, Facebook. I think I'm on live now. That's weird. Usually it counts me down 3, 2, 1 to let me know that I am coming on live. Um, Today I've been having a few conversations about whether it's possible to be successful and healthy at the same time. So, coming from the corporate world myself, I know and recognize that there is this concept about, like working as hard as you possibly can, grinding your face into the pavement until you're, oh, I got all fuzzy there, until you're, like bleeding out of every orifice. Maybe making like working every hour and then making like a ton of money and then not being able to actually enjoy the things that you're buying with your money. You've got the beautiful house or the car or whatever, but you can never take a vacation. You can never spend time in your house or whatever. Or maybe, success has come at the expense of your health. You're feeling exhausted, you're burnt out. There's a lot of physical stuff that's going on in your body that's not allowing you to keep going and keep pushing at the level that you wanted to push at. And I've been watching the show Scandal. I just like I just become addicted to it. I don't know. I mean, it's really good. Like it started off kind of not so great, and like all my friends, I said, "Hey, have you been watching Scandal?" And they're like, "Yeah, no, wasn't really into it." And I'm like, "Yeah, me neither. Not for the first few episodes, but the more you watch, the more you're like, oh." It's a guilty pleasure of mine, and just watching them work is like exhausting. Like I don't think they ever sleep. Now that's television, right? But there is like a mindset about that out there in terms of like success means that you have to work every single hour. I used to have to work like it was just all the time, I remember leaving the office at like 10 o'clock at night. And I would then like leave the office and I'd be so bone dead tired and stressed out and exhausted. And I remember always thinking to myself, there's got to be a better way of building success than doing this. Like I never really bought into that that mindset, but it was all I knew. It was all that was out there. And I think there's a lot of people who operate at that level. And it really does come at the expense of things. So, usually it comes at the expense of health. And this is where you hear of these like high performers, high achievers who, seem pretty healthy and they're running and they're doing all these healthy things and they, fall flat, of a heart attack. And usually, not always, but usually that's a stress related thing, right? It's impacted their body so much, that, it causes like something like that to happen in their body. And, that's obviously a very, very high price to pay for success, right? And, so that's the extreme. But there's the other things that can happen physically in your body as a result of pushing yourself too far. Like not moving from your desk all day long, for example. I don't know if you've heard, but sitting is the new smoking. So it's something that keeps you sedentary. It cuts off blood flow. It creates like a lot of tightness in your hips and in your back. And like a lot of people are having like these hunched over issues. There's a lot of stuff that goes around with like this constant needing to be here. This constant needing to be on the phone. And I'm so guilty of that myself. See, even just looking at that, I got distracted and I'm on a live stream. That's really bad. This is one of the things that for me, this has to be locked in a safe if I'm ever not going to have this. I'm so addicted to my phone. But it's my business. So it's okay. At least that's what I say. But yeah, like, I think that there's a mindset that you can either be successful or you like have to completely chill and zen and not do anything. And that's not the truth. Like that is not at all how I operate now. So I have been through the whole like hustling and burning myself out and having all the physical ailments and the physical things that come along with that. And now I've created a type of hustle that allows me to balance both the busyness and the doing and getting shit done and all of that kind of stuff with not burning myself out, right? Like with practices that keep me, help me feel grounded and keep the stress at a point that it's completely manageable. Whereas before it was so overwhelming, and that's part of a mindset too. Like stress is perception. So what's your mindset around that, right? So there's definitely ways in which that you can have a successful business and hustle and like, you know, serve a lot of people and do your thing without burning yourself out in the process. And, you know, I've spoken to so many women who, you know, there's some women who I've spoken to who, you know, were in that hustle stage for a really long time, and their bodies really paid for it through not just like gaining weight, but also through, you know, actual disease manifesting in their body. Sometimes it comes as like a thyroid issue. Autoimmune conditions can crop up. There's a lot of things that can start to crop up in your body as a result of pushing yourself too hard for the sake of success. And what I do is I help women either like start to steer away from that or come back from that if that's where they've landed. So for example, if a client comes in and she's already completely burnt out, already having a lot of things happening in her physical body as a result of pushing herself too much for years, like she's built an amazing business and has all this success, but she can't enjoy it because she just is exhausted and just simply doesn't feel good. You know, that I help her with the physical stuff, like clawing that back, but then how do we go from here, right? Like how do we continue to build and scale and grow and bring in success without getting you back to that same place again, right? So that's the lifestyle strategy part of what I do with my clients, is helping them get to that next level, but doing it with, you know, in health and gracefully and with ease and more flow, rather than, you know, punching up against the old. It's really an old school way of thinking, even though it's still so pervasive in our psyche, especially in North America. So, you know, on the back of all of this, like I created my latest guide or checklist, whatever you want to call it. It's the 5 things to stop doing to feel better, to end self-sabotage, because part of this like all or nothing and this doing and all of that, it's actually sabotage. It gets in your way of getting to the next level. It gets in your way of doing certain things. So I want to end that for you, help you end that, and help you raise your game. I want to get you to that next level. So I've created that as a gift for you, which I'm, you know, I've been offering out here. I'll put it in the link. But I'm also going to be rolling out a group program in the next couple of weeks. Probably super ambitious for me to do that in such a short period of time, but I really want to roll out what it is that I teach with my one-on-one, what I coach with my one-on-one clients out into a group setting, and help more women with this and bring this into a step-by-step process that can be followed over you know, an 8-week time period period that will really, really help you to get the results that you want, to reduce, those physical symptoms that you might be having in your body, like the exhaustion, and the waking, and any like sleep problems, like digestive issues, like feeling like you can't button your jeans up after a meal, and like that whole thing around what to eat, what not to eat, all of that. Plus helping you get to the next level and looking at, your mindset and what your beliefs are and where your sabotages are, and where you might be feeling guilty and where you might not be, supporting yourself from a mindset wise, to get yourself to the next level. So I'm creating that. So stay tuned and keep an eye out for that, because I would love to have, 10 ideal people, women in that program, so that I can support, and who can support each other, and create this new paradigm of, having success without sacrifice. That's what it is. This is what I believe in. It's being successful, and whether that is feeling better and managing your weight and doing all that without having to deprive yourself and diet and go into crazy cleanses and all that kind of crap, but also how to build your empire without burning out. Like, I really want to make sure that my big mission is to help women on a mission achieve it, right? I want you to achieve that mission, and I want you to achieve it in grace and in health. I want you to not burn out in the process. And I definitely don't want to take away your mission, because it's you, like your job, your career, it's part of you. It's who you are. And I appreciate that. And I want you to have that. And I want you to also have, health and longevity. And I want you to be happy. And I don't want you to feel bitter and angry and resentful. And I don't want you to not take care of yourself in the process. So that's why I'm going to be rolling this thing out in the coming weeks, to really be able to tap into this and help support you as much as possible. But for right now, I'd love it if you would grab my 5 things to stop doing, because we're always being told to do things. So it's a nice sort of like relief to be told not to do things. This is a big belief of mine, that it is possible to, be successful and healthy at the same time. I 100% strongly believe that. I want that for you. Like, I want that for you so badly. I have achieved that balance. And I know the word balance, like, it's kind of like, ooh, is there such thing? And there kind of really isn't. It's balancing the balance, right? Like, it's not that, like, some days I am hustling all day long. Like, from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed, I'm just like all about producing and serving and creating and all of that, because I feel really good, and it's serving me, and it's making me feel really, really great. And then there's other days where I'm like, you know what? My body is telling me I'm tired. My body is saying, nourish me. The problem is that most women aren't trained, or don't know how to listen to that, and they don't feel that there's that permission to stop when your body's talking to you. So that's some of the things that I want to really explore and teach women, is how to tap into that, what your body's telling you. Like, we're very good at listening to what's going on here. Not very good at listening to what's going on down here. So I really want to get women into what's going on down here, and the power. Women have a lot of power in their body, and what's going on down here. And this is why, for example, this could be pushing limits for a lot of people, but I don't care. Like, for example, when we're looking at losing weight, it's throwing out the fucking scale. And that can be a challenge for some people, but that scale is forcing you to look at an outside metric rather than trusting and listening to what's going on down here. That scale is like here, right? It's like eyeballs looking, brain, logic. Oh, I've gained weight. Oh my God, I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I can't do this. I should give up, blah, 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 blah. That's up here. Whereas when you're down here, it's like, oh yeah, my jeans are feeling a little tight, or wow, my pants feel like really loose today, or whatever. Like that's getting into your body. That's feeling physically what's going on, plus whatever symptoms you may be feeling as well. So there's a disconnect there. And I really want to bring all of this together for women and to show you as well that, it's okay for you to, like, I give you permission to like want to hustle and to want to do, be bigger and bolder and like badass. And like, because my whole thing is, you know, I don't know if you've heard this expression, but the world will be saved by a Western woman. The Dalai Lama said this. And I believe that. And Western woman, you know, like the world will be saved by a woman, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be a Western woman, but, and my reaction to that is not the way we're going, right? And what I mean by that is if women continue to push themselves and not take care of themselves and not put themselves first and, you know, eat shitty ass food all the time and, think shitty ass thoughts all the time, then it's just continuously sabotaging you. And the world then suffers because of that. And I think the reason why there's so many female entrepreneurs out there right now is because the world needs this. Like, it is seriously time for women to step up. Like, we're doing this in such a big way, and I love it. I love it. I'm watching this and I'm like, yes, go women. And not to say that there's anything wrong with men or anything. I'm not anti-man at all. I would say the same thing to men. It's just, and men don't take care of themselves very well either. But, you know, I kind of feel like I wanted to pick a gender. Anyway, not making excuses or anything like that. It's just, I want to support women. And I think we just have such a huge opportunity right now to change the world and the way the world operates. And I think the more women are in power, but not in corporate power where they're a CEO, not that there's anything wrong with being a CEO, that's not the kind of power I'm talking about. I don't think that that's the kind of power that's going to change the world. I think having this new economy of women entrepreneurs who are running their businesses the way they want to run their businesses, the way that is supportive to people in general, and where they have the mindset that you don't have to kill yourself in order to be successful, right? I think if women can tap into that and be unapologetic about that and operate from that space with permission to do that, and not like operate from that sheer pure masculine space all the time because that's what society expects, right? Like, excuse me. I think the more women tap into that, the better this globalization of female entrepreneurship is going to be. And I think it's really gonna shift and change the way we do business in general. You know, like, I'm already hearing of women. There's this woman, she runs this organization called CEO. Her name's Vicki Saunders. And so her organization, I did a live stream about this a few weeks ago. Basically, and I'm going to butcher her thing here, but she's helping women entrepreneurs finance their businesses, and without having to go through venture capitalists, because going through venture capitalists is a little ridiculous, and you need to have so much. You need to have so much already, and I think she was saying something about you have to be able to prove that your business can hit like 500 million or 50 million or something like that, and before they'll even look at you. That's insane. And so she's creating this new economy for female business owners, which I think is fantastic. And she was saying that with her business, and I love this, like, they take off, I think it's 3 weeks over Christmas, I think she said. And then once a quarter, they take a week off. And she said it's because we are so driven to get work done that we need to have that space and that break, or we're going to burn ourselves out. And I was like, dude, I love you. And I loved the fact that we were in a room of 500 people, and she was so unapologetic about tapping into the energy of the room and tapping into her intuition. Do you know how powerful women would be, even in a corporate setting, if we were unapologetic about tapping into that and showed up in that kind of way? And now I'm not saying like vagina all hanging out, like, hey, if you want to do that, that's cool. I don't care. I don't judge. But it's like, philosophically, in a way, like, here's my womanhood, and here's me being woman. And fuck you if you don't get this. But I have a gut feeling, or I have a sensation, or I'm reading the energy or something. I think this is so important for us to allow that and to tap into that, because I think that is what's going to make a big shift. Now, I don't want to get too woo-woo and lose anybody here who's watching, because that's sort of like one step down the road. But it's sort of like what we're striving for, in a way. But we've got to start where we're at, right? Which is right here. And where you might be at is, feeling like shit in your body. You might be at the point where you're really wanting to do more. You're really, really wanting to do more, but you just physically can't. Like, you're just so exhausted. You just physically can't. Or maybe you've just gained weight and it's really stopping you from getting to that next level, because there's some guilt or shame, or you're not happy with how you look. Like, I remember all of that. And or maybe it's a mindset thing. Like, maybe you really want to get to that next level, but you just don't think you can, or you don't think that you should. You feel guilty about trying to aim for that, but deep down inside you really think that you should be going for that next level, but there's something like kind of stopping you. That's what I want to help you with. That's where I want to meet you. And if you're ready to hear the more, tapping into your intuition and feminine energy, and if you're ready to hear all that stuff, then that's cool too. But let's just navigate you onto a path of a better overall life, so that you can have the business and that you deserve, but plus also have the body and the health that you deserve too. Because without that, what's the point, right? Like, you're not going to really be able to enjoy everything that you're building. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say today. I don't know if anybody's on here live. I got a couple likes. Yay. Thank you, people, for the likes. Raise the roof, raise the roof, raise the roof. Yay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. God, I'm so easily pleased. A couple of likes and I'm so happy. Anyway, so grab the free guide, the 5 things that you should stop doing to end self-sabotage, to feel better, and to up your game. I'll put it in the comments so you can grab it there. And if you want to be one of these 10 women in this program, it's going to be called Success Without Sacrifice. And I think it's going to be like an 8-week program. I'm probably going to roll it out in the next 2 weeks or so. It won't have, it'll be like one group call a week. It won't be too overwhelming, and because I know you're super busy and you're running empires and you're doing your thing, but I'd really love to bring in some amazing kick-ass women, and I want it to be a safe space too, because there's a lot of women who are in that position who it's hard for them to be vulnerable and to talk about weaknesses, and it's like on the outside everything looks perfect, but inside you're really struggling. It could be like that image of the swan something's happening with my computer. Could be the image of the swan, you know, like all serene and beautiful on the top, but underneath the surface, it's like, holy shit. You know, that's the kind of women I work with. And so I would love to, oh, my computer's trying to update. That's why. I would love to be able to support you through that journey to help you, like, you know, be that swan and underneath do this too, where you're like, it's all good, man. I'm a beautiful swan, killing it. I'm crushing it. I just hit 1 million. I just hit 6 figures, wherever you're at in your business. I just hit, and I'm doing it like without burning out. I'm eating well. My body looks super hot now. I feel great. I've got all these practices now that are making me feel like super empowered and super awesome. And, oh, I need to flap for a little bit. That's cool though, because I'm not burning out while flapping. That's where I want to get you. So I don't know if that's a really great image or not. Hopefully it was a good one. Thank you so much for, oh, so many things are happening on my computer. Thank you so much. I'm going to shut this down before it all goes away. For being here, for being part of my, for watching me, for listening, for the likes. I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, grab my stuff and let me know if you want to be part of this program. I'll talk about it some more as over the next few days. But definitely let me know if you know somebody who could really benefit from this. Please let me know. It's going to be rolled out as a beta program, meaning it's going to be half price. So that's what we're going to be looking at for this particular round. And yeah, I'm doing it over the summer. Who cares? Like, it's still a really great time. There's always a good time to look into this. And how amazing would it be to feel like fantastic, you know, by the time Christmas rolls around, right? So again, sorry, my computer's just gone absolutely mental. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the next live stream. Bye for now.